Yes, it's Thursday. It's another thankful Thursday. Health, strength, and your ability to create wealth. What are you thankful for? This Thursday, I'm thankful for company. Yes, company. Not like a business company, but I'm thankful for business and the companies, but company, more of the people who you associate with, the people who you spend most of your time with. When we think about company, I would say they're people other than yourself. People that you spend most of your downtime with, people who you do business with, people who you hang out with, people who you socialize with. We can think of some things where people would say, birds of a feather flock together. They would say, regardless if you take your 5 closest friends and you average them out, you get probably the average of your salary. And all of these things we hear about company, how good rubs off on bad, and in some instances, positive rubs off in negative. Whereas if you create a positive environment because you're in a particular company, it starts to rub off. If you take some positive people and you start to infect the people that are around them, you start to see some positive changes. Company is so important because that's where you spend most of your time. Also, for a lot of people, they'll tell you that the company that they keep not only changed their lives, but it's changed their pocketbooks. When you start to realize that the habits that you pick up is from the people that you socialize with, you start to realize and you'll be actually a little bit more careful in evaluating where you spend most of your time. When you spend most of your time with people who have bad habits, eventually you start to pick up those bad habits and they start to affect your life. However, if you're in a company where you have majority of the people are keeping positive habits, like being disciplined, being consistent, being honest, having integrity, one of character, doing what they say they're going to do, and you have all of these things, they set their goals, they set strategies in place, and all of these things, you start to realize that it not affects your life. Because when they say they're going to show up at 7 o'clock, they usually show up at 6:55 so they can be there at 7 o'clock. All of these things, all of these little habits you start to see affect the company that you keep. A lot of us, the first companies that we get to keep, or the first people that surround us, is our family. Mom, dad, brother, sister, our cousins. All of these plays effect. But guess what? As you grow up, you get to decide the company that you keep. See, in those formative years, you didn't have a choice. And as you start to grow up as an adult, you get to choose the company that you keep. And that is so vital because you have the choice of whom you're going to keep around you. No, you didn't get the family. You didn't get to pick your family, but guess what? You do get to choose your friends. That's your company. Yes, it's another thankful Thursday. Health, strength, and your ability to create wealth. Go out there and be careful who you choose and the time you choose to spend with your company.